Alright, welcome to Dusty Gamers. This is just Robert. I'm starting a new project where I'm going to be playing about as many Final Fantasies as I can get through before I abandon the project, I guess. I'll be starting with Final Fantasy 1. I'm playing the Game Boy Advance Dawn of Souls version, which I wanted to do like a pure run of Final Fantasy 1, but with this particular version of it, it gives me a lot of, like benefits of what I call quality of life benefits. Basically, the game is, it lets you buy, it lets you buy all the potions you want all in one shot, and makes the battles faster. It's just an easier game. It's going to be, the graphics are a little bit upgraded. I haven't played it as much as I played the old one, so it won't be quite a chore to get through. I guess I'll kind of point out why more later. That's gonna bug me. Anyways, I'm officially calling this my my midlife Final Fantasy marathon, or my midlife crisis marathon. But I don't know. Let's see, is Cain the thief? I don't remember. Cain. I plan to record maybe like some of the major stuff and put it on YouTube, and then try to stream as much as I can of the rest on Twitch. I have a plan for pretty much all the Final Fantasies up until even 15, except for the online ones, because there's really no proper way to go online and play those and beat them within a normal amount of time. I'm just gonna name him Azazel, or AZ, or just Az. If you haven't gotten the joke here, is I'm naming my characters after Binding of Isaac characters. I was gonna name them a bunch of weird stuff based on other video games I love and shit, but I decided to go with this instead. I hope the sound quality and everything works out. I have everything set up in a different way than normal. I mean, the microphone's almost closer to the TV than it is me right now, which probably is a terrible idea, but I'm trying to be comfortable, since I plan to be Twitch streaming probably quietly more than actually recording for YouTube. But I know I can get at least the first 30 minutes of this game goes by pretty quick without too much grinding and bullshit. Another one of the reasons I'm playing the Game Boy Advance remake of this is they used a lot of assets from some of my later Final Fantasies that I love, like Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 4. So it's like added benefit of seeing some of those pixels they obviously ripped off, like the mountains in the background there were like clearly stolen from Final Fantasy 6. So like Final Fantasy 6 is my all-time favorite game, so any chance of seeing any stolen pixels from my favorite games, sign me up. I always liked how the beginning of Final Fantasy started, where you just kind of like have these four warriors just showed up with crystals in their hands. It's kind of a not hand-holding you at the story. Final Fantasy does a lot of great things for being as old as it is. Here's another one of those things, like buying items in the first town on the normal Final Fantasy takes quite a bit more effort, since you don't have all these nice benefits with the shops. They made the shops a lot easier to like get in and out, and you can actually run around town, which is nice. Like there's no run button in the original, so I don't want 7 of those. Guess that's it. You'll see like when I'm equipping. Oh hey, Xbox mute. I accidentally muted the game. I'm sorry. You'll see when I'm equipping This game also lets you save everywhere, just the other one didn't. We're going to save over my other file that I had started. This game lets you like optimal equip everybody, which is so much faster than the original. So basically this game makes it really easy to be a lot lazier, so this playthrough won't be so grindy. I've actually beat this original Final Fantasy like on Nintendo. I was a fan of the game back when it came out, but it wasn't really until the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy came out that I like became like a devoted hardcore fan of the game. Like, you know, like never gonna leave the series, you know what I mean? I'm gonna end up buying Protect and Blink here. I like Protect and Blink a lot because they one of them protects you against physical damage, the other one's magic. But I won't end up not using them a lot. You pretty much have to buy Cure for fucking your red mage and your black mage. I'm out of money. I'll have to come back for Thunder. That's a bummer. I like you can just go right into the town here, buy your stuff, and then talk to this guy here, and it takes you right to the king. So you don't really have to walk to the king. Actually, it's kind of like a time saver right there, instead of going and buying the stuff and then trying to leave and go find out where the king is, because you got to walk around the castle to figure it out. Do we hold the crystals? I like I don't like when I originally played Final Fantasy. I don't remember any of the story, because it's really not a really strong story. It's like, you know, the 4 elements you got to restart, got to jump start the elements, and then you have crystals. It's really the like charming little like hurdles you got to get through that kind of like at one point you got to get your Excalibur sword. Then at the beginning of the game you got to go get your ship. Right now I got to go kill this Garland guy and get this princess back. And then they build a bridge for me, and then I'll go get my boat, and then I got to go to some dark cave. You know, like it's just like everything seems really memorable. It very, you know, like not really complex. Like, you know, like this is your next goal. So what happens is like I've played the beginning of this game multiple times, like gone through and got to the point where you get to the boat. Basically, the first couple hours of the game where you get to the boat, the first major problem comes when you get to like the elf area. You have to go to kill I think it's a dark elf or something in a cave. That's the first point in the game where in the original you kind of had to stop and grind. So the beginning of this game, like the first few hours, is really smooth. You just, you know, you can get into it, and then if you can get past that first kind of section of grinding, the game kind of opens up and has like more flow again for a while. I believe on this Game Boy Advance version of the game, there's a whole lot less grinding. So, like I can literally pretty much head straight at Garland right now if I want, but I want to get my Thunder magic before I leave. So I'm gonna stay here for a moment and like build a few levels. Then I'll hit the inn up and then get my lightning magic and then head over there. But when I played this earlier, I literally just head straight to him, and I didn't even really need much of anything. I just beat him. I didn't even grind the bats out, which is something I'll show you in a while. So like the Game Boy Advance version makes everything a lot easier. I guess I'll talk about the party I picked. You pretty much always have to have a warrior. The warrior has super high defense. He's basically your tank. I mean, he is your tank before people consider a tank even a term. Like, you know, he takes 1 friggin' damage, so he basically lasts forever. That's why you gotta have he does a lot of physical damage. He lasts forever. You gotta have a warrior. It's actually viable in this game to beat the game with just warriors. The major thing you lose is cure magic. It helps to have a lot of cure magic in the game, which is why you want to have a white mage. I picked the thief. I used to pick the monk all the time. For some reason, I always thought the monk thing where you could like attack with 2 claws, like basically dual weapons in all the other games, I always thought was really cool. So back in the day, I always picked the monk and use his nunchucks because I thought it was just really cool. But then now I want the thief because I eventually want to be the ninja. I like the ninja a lot better than the monk. So like when I booted this game up on the NES Classic, my brain immediately went back to trying to be a monk, and of course the black mage is the coolest thing in the world. And you'll notice I didn't bring a black mage with me. Well, that's because every time I play this game, I've relied on a white mage, black mage, and I know the red mage is awesome. I know the benefits of the red mage. He's got a little bit of white magic, a little bit of black magic. Eventually, he becomes just one of the best characters you can have later in the game when he gets his upgrade, because all the classes get an upgrade. So I went with red mage because I'm not entirely sure I've beaten the game with a red mage before. And between the I mean, you have to have the knight and the white mage. That's basic for me, but to kind of make sure things are a little bit more interesting for this gameplay, I went with red mage and the ninja to make sure that I know I've beaten the game with a monk and a fucking black mage. Like, that's definitely happened. So basically that's why I picked the class I picked. Binding of Isaac's, the reason I use the character names is that the original Binding of Isaac characters, like the 4 or 5 of them, were all based off of Dungeons and Dragons classes. So like Magdalene from the game, who has a ton of healing and can heal herself. She's, you know, the cleric. And then Cain with his one eye is the thief. I picked Azazel, who's probably more of a black mage in the game. I picked him as my red mage name just because Azazel is amazing. And then I made Isaac my warrior, but I think Isaac's more of the Samson in the game. Isaac's really not one of the 4 originals. I mean, like, classes, basically. But you know, I had to put Isaac as a name. I just had to do it. So that's why I ended up with those 4 names. Let's go and beat Garland. I really like you can just hold the button down. I think this little cave here has been added. I don't remember it from the original. It has like you go in it and it has like a whole thing. I think it's part of the whole Dawn of Souls extra bestiary stuff. Like there's an extra mission at the end of the game where you can go do some other stuff. I think that's what that's about. One of the cool hooks of Final Fantasy is the game kind of ends where it begins. Fuck, man, 1986, that's a cool fucking idea, you know what I mean? Or 87, might be 87. That's so, like, it's so ahead of its time to have the forethought to, you know, you journey the entire world and you come back to the same area that you started in to kind of finish your game. You kind of go through the same area. It's a really cool idea. That's why this Chaos Shrine gives you chills, because it's like, you know, it could have just been this dumb, basic, boring, easy area. I went the wrong way. There's like all the way around the other side. There's some stuff I can get. It could have just been this dumb, terrible, boring area at the beginning of the game. You know, like your basic noob tutorial area. But instead of just doing that, you know, you come back. Game comes back full circle and brings you back to the Chaos Temple. Another thing is this whole Chaos Temple and stuff. A lot of my terminology is stuff like words I kind of got obsessed with as growing up came from Final Fantasy. I used to really love the word chaos. I used to do art with like the word chaos and stuff in high school. I got my nickname Lunatic actually comes from a mixture of Final Fantasy games being having the word lunar in it a lot, and then the video game Lunar later. But sort of the reason I even got excited for the video game Lunar is because of Final Fantasy in the first place. So, I mean, it really all comes back to Final Fantasy. So, like, the reason I'm Lunatic Skies right now started from Final Fantasy being kind of obsessed with the word lunar, and then kind of figuring out what it meant and what lunatics are, and because lunatics go crazy because of the moon. Yeah, the lunar is the moon, obviously, and a lunatic is based on the idea that back in the day, like, moons would make people go nuts. Like, you know, the full moon is out, the lunatics are running wild. I learned about that, like, way back in, you know, when I was, like, 12 or 13 or something, and then I kind of stuck with it. And then Lunatic After Dark, or what I put as Lunar AD, Lunatic AD, was my original like AOL nickname. It was, you know, like AD as in after death, or it was actually, I joked about it being After Dark, but it was Lunatic AD, kind of like a, you know, time. It was my original nickname for AOL way back when that AOL was a thing. Back when I spent way too much time on AOL talking about Final Fantasy. Dogs. Yeah, like another thing that this game's actually like the original. When you fight, you have to actually be really picky about who you attack, because if you keep attacking the same person, it won't move on to the next target. So like, basically this kind of like autopilot that I'm in right here, where I'm just killing stuff, holding the A button down. It's like completely impossible in the original. I mean, that's just that simple like quality of life thing shows how much easier this version is. Like, I mean, I can literally just keep going into battles. I'm holding the button down and it's fighting for me. I don't have to worry about it. It makes the tedious grind a lot easier. Oh man, you can't kill the bats? I could have swore when you originally come in here back in the old one, it was smart to like attack all the bats before attacking him. I mean, I might be mistaken. I love this Garland. Looks a lot like Golbez from Final Fantasy II. He's legitly got the whole Dark Knight thing going for him. It's really cool. I'm gonna be letting these YouTube videos for this particular Final Fantasy run obsession thing I'm doing right now run a little bit longer, because honestly, you don't need videos to be 15 minutes on YouTube. But I think I'm gonna do is when I get done beating this guy, I'll probably cut for a break. You can actually just sit here and keep attacking him and probably beat him without even thinking. Look at that thief. I love dual hitting, man. Woo, there he goes. So yeah, I'll probably revive the bridge and everything, and we'll take a break. I like the game doesn't make you walk back to the castle. It's just like, oh, I saved the princess, and then it warps you over there. Which is nice. And I could have swore you kill the bats in the original. I'll have to look at that later. Like, getting a high enough level to defeat him, I'm pretty sure he's a lot harder in the original to, like, take out the first time. I watched somebody play this once, and I remember them making a big deal about a lot of stuff like that, but I don't remember. It's been so long since I really dealt with Final Fantasy 1. Oh, the prophecy. Man, they really beef up the beginning of all this talking in the game. This isn't this Final Fantasy isn't as heavy story as like the later ones became. I mean, Final Fantasy IV is practically non-stop story. It's almost not even a video game. Like, there's so much story in between the dungeons and stuff. You obtain the loot. Oh yeah. You need the loot for some nonsense later. We're all with you. I gotta sneeze right now so bad. It's pretty cool. They hid these like doors. It's another one of those forethought things that Final Fantasy kind of went back. It's one of those things like backtracking type things that I thought was cool. There's like these areas in the game that are locked off that you get a key for later. You can come get cool stuff from, but you kind of have to know they're there and know they're locked. I can't remember if they're in this castle or not. I remember reading the strategy guides and thinking how cool it was. It's like, oh yeah, there's that door you passed earlier. You could have got it. You can get into once the king gives you the key later. I don't know. I don't even remember how to get over there. Anyways, let's get to the intro bridge here and get like the super classic Final Fantasy moment. Oh, they added this little scene here. I kind of like this bridge building scene here. They added to the Game Boy version of it. Final Fantasy 2 had all these cool sequences where they're building your airship, and they're like, you know, they're like really memorable moments where it's like, oh, I'm about to get my airship, and then they're all building the airship for you. So this kind of building the bridge scene reminds me of that, and I kind of like it for that reason alone. Originally, you just fucking walk up there and there's a bridge there, and it's like, it'll cut to the cutscene I'm going to show you. It's like one of those amazing Final Fantasy moments that they really, I don't know if they, I honestly doubt they put them in a Final Fantasy even recently, but they need to go back to doing it. Just like the journey's beginning kind of moment. I like the music in this version's legit. Like there's like every type of remix for like all the popular songs. Like literally this song right here and the song that was just playing are the same type of tune. It's just like remixes of the same song. Which it's really cool to go through all the tunes. Ah, one more battle. I like it. My little thief looks like he's got like pink booties, little pink shoes. Got like a pink undershirt. I never. Part of the reason I didn't like the thief back in the day is because it's so generic, just like, you know, that type of character. Here we go. Alright. And we're playing Final Fantasy. Alright, so